Hello and welcome to the fourth video of my channel. In this video we will go to the data module and try to develop it together. But first I want to give you some explanation about why we are separating the data and our domain, and why is exactly a clean architecture just focusing on this kind of separation. So the domain module is something that we developers should always keep in mind, because we don't want to depend our classes on some concrete classes. Instead, we want to depend on some abstractions. So for example, if we want to have a view model which needs to retrieve data from a repository, a remote one or a local one, it doesn't matter. We just want to have an access or depend on some abstractions like this interface here, or some abstract classes. Okay, so we don't want to depend on some raw classes or some classes that have some behaviors inside them. In this way, if we have two behavior for this node repository, or 3 or 4, we can just implement some classes, implement this interface into our classes, and based on the scenario that we have, we will just inject the right implementation. Okay, so it's time to go to the data module here, and I will just create some packages for the local database. The first one is local. Inside that local, we will have some other package names, calling them entity. Another one will be a DAO, or I'm sorry, it should be inside the entity. So let me create it once again. It should be inside the local. So the DAO, and the last one is a database. All right, so we will first go to the entity package, and inside of it we will need to create a class which is related to this model here, this node model which we created in the last video here. So let me just create a Kotlin class and name it node entity. And since I had developed this project before, I will just copy and paste the code related to this node entity. All right, so we have our node entity, and I will give you some explanation about what each line does. And the first line is this annotation, annotate entity, and this here defines that, or tells the room library that this class is a table inside our local database. So each entity will be a table inside the database, and we can define the table name like this. And if we don't mention the table name, the room library will automatically choose this name as the table name for us. But I just decided to define it, and it's more clear and beautiful. So another thing that is new to you in here is the primary key and this annotation, which is above the ID value, and the auto generate, which is true. So what it basically does is that it tells the room that this ID is somehow unique for us, and each time we want to insert some data into our database or into our table, the room will automatically generate an ID for that row. And with that specific row, or with that ID, we can query, we can delete, we can update our row, and we can basically do some database or table query stuff. Okay, so next we will come here inside our DAO package name and create an interface calling it nodes DAO, and we should annotate it with DAO like this. So basically in here we will just have some functions for inserting or deleting or querying our database or our table, and database access object helps us to manage our data inside our tables or define some queries. Okay, so if we want to insert a new data inside our table, we should use this insert annotation and suspend function insert new notes, and as a result it will return some long value, and we will pass our notes item. So notes item, and it should be an entity. Okay, so in this function, room will automatically generate some codes for us, and if we call it inside our repository, it will just get this note item and put it inside the table. Okay, so let me just change the name of this input. This way is, I think it's better. It's up to you. And if you want to delete some data from our tables, we can do the same using the delete annotation and delete notes entity, and as a in return it will return some integer, and this integer and this long value is something that we can use to find out the process is being successful or not. So for example, if it is successful, it will return a 0 or a 1. I will show you in the next part. Okay, so if we want to update one row, we can use the annotation update, suspend function, update note, and the exact same thing. It will return an integer. The next query which we will have is annotated with the query, and we can use select star from, let me just capitalize everything in here, it's much better, from note, and we will use some function get all notes, and in return we will get a list of note entities. Okay, so we are selecting everything with this star from our note table. So in this way we can retrieve all the data from this table. And let me just do some editing here. It should be suspended, and get notes is a better name, I guess. So now we have our DAO ready, so we can edit our tables, but we haven't created the database yet. So in the next part we will go here and create our note database. Or NoteDB, it doesn't matter what you call it. Just let me do it like this, and here we go. Okay, it should be an abstract class, and it should be annotated with the database, which has some entities. The entity will be an array, and we will just put our note entity here. Note entity class.java or class. Okay, so we need a version number as well, which will be 1 for now. And if we just create some other tables, or if we modify some changes into our tables, we should change this number to 2 or 3, or create some migration, I guess, which is not the concept of this course. And this class should extend room database, and in here we should just create some constructor parentheses and a val for our note DAO, abstract val note DAO. Okay, so now everything is set for this room library, and we now know that how to define a table inside our database, how to manage data inside our database, and how to create the database itself, which is kind of easy and it's not so much hard. And if you have any questions, just comment in the comment section and I will just answer you. So in the next videos, I will show you how to use dependency injection using Hilt library for managing our injections inside our classes, and then we will implement the repository from the main module here, and then the data module will be completed. So thank you for watching this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel, and goodbye.